welcome back to the Mail-In Podcast. I'm your host, Brett Merriman, sitting in front of me. She was here last week. She's here this week. Sally deFries. What's going on, Sal?
I'm going to do something I haven't done before on the podcast.
Oh, really? Whoa!
I just cracked a beer.
You just cracked a beer on the pod. I can't leave you hanging.
Cracked a Vizzy.
Cracked a Vizzy.
Cheers.
Let's go. Cheers. Oh, can we? Yeah. There it is. Yeah, we got it. We got there.
I haven't ever had this beer before. It's called the Hef.
Which is a Hefeweizen, I would presume.
It is.
Yep.
I think it's from somewhere in Ohio. So
Ooh, yeah.
Or not.
Careful. Survey says
Pretty good.
pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Looks cool. What's the what does it say on your fingers?
Bonehook.
Bone.
That
Oh,
must be the brewery.
Bonehook's good. I know Bonehook. Okay.
Bonehook Brewing Company.
Columbus, Ohio.
I can't read that. Oh,
shit.
Okay, I just spilled beer all over myself trying to read the can.
That was perfect. That was perfect.
Right. You know, this actually works great because I've gone through multiple t-shirts today.
Okay.
Because right before I came and recorded, Fritz had his first ever blowout.
Oh no.
Do you know what a blowout is, Brett?
Does it have it? Which end is it?
It's where you shit your pants.
Yeah. Okay.
So he shits his pants all the time
Sure.
into a diaper, but this like escaped the diaper
Oh.
onto his car seat, onto my arm.
Oh.
And he's never done it before. Like I've somehow avoided it, and like I hear these stories, these like urban legends, not really urban legends, but like of
Right.
kids that it like happens. And I was like, God, we're just so lucky. Like he just doesn't do that. And
Man, that's tough.
it was
I'm sorry.
all over.
I just feel like
And
until
it's like once, it's also like, it's on everything. So then like you're trying to get the clothes off of him, but then it's like going everywhere. It just, there's like no good. I literally just had to get in the shower with him.
yeah,
And, like,
at that point you just kind of it's like he's like a football. You're just
Yeah.
like, just got to wash off the ball.
yeah, I
Ugh.
just was holding him like in the water like this. Like, and now, so I had to change shirts.
Yep.
Well, I really had to change all my clothes. And then
Yeah.
I just got beer on the shirt, damn it. But it
Good
is what it
hot
is.
start. We're
Mhm.
doing hefts, we're doing Vizzies. Randy over there, he's doing
Liquid IV, I think.
liquid IV. Okay. Well, I didn't know what that was. Looked
Sorry
like a
to talk
protein
about
shake.
shit 1 minute into the podcast.
No, it's okay. We got, there's always room for shit talk
talking shit.
on this podcast. If you're new here, you may be wondering, what is the Mail-In Podcast? It's the podcast where Sally and I discuss your skincare routines and talk about baby shit.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes. We do our best to answer your questions because you may run into situations in your 20s or 30s that you need some help with. And we're here to do just that. Get a laugh in, maybe walk away with something useful. How can you help us out? Tell a friend about the podcast. One of the easier ways to get into washed media, I think, in my opinion. Send them a clip, maybe a segment that makes sense for their situation if they're going through something similar to what we talk about. Give us a subscribe on iTunes, maybe a follow on Spotify. It's the same kind of thing. You just get podcasts delivered to your channel, whatever it's called, your feed. Hit the hotline number, leave a voicemail, 888-362-MAIL. That's 888-362-6245. Or you can write in, that's the Vizzy talking. Write in at the link in the Twitter bio at Mail-In Podcast. Sally, before we get going, I have a very important question to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
We've been doing this a few times, right, Randy? Once or twice we've run back, and I've had a lot of fun doing episodes with you. So, will you be my co-host?
Wow. I was not expecting this. Yeah, actually I was. Yes, I will be your co-host.
Let's go. She said yes, Randy.
He didn't even give me a ring though. So we're going to Tiffany's after this to pick something out.
Yikes. That's
It's a co-host ring. You wear it on your right hand pinky.
right hand
finger.
pinky.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there a Tiffany in Austin?
I think it's the Domain.
That makes sense. Everything's at the fucking
Do
Domain.
people go to Tiffany's anymore?
I have no idea. Me and my buddy, shouts to Matt, we walked into a Harry Winston, the New York one time,
Mm-hmm.
and acted like we were a gay couple.
couple?
Yeah. And we're like, oh, like, yeah, what do you guys got? Like, what's in the back room? And turns out they have some cool shit in there.
So this is just like off topic, but we're planning a trip to New York right now.
Yeah.
My sisters and I.
Very
And
cool.
my mom and my niece's little girls, probably Christmas trip.
Ooh,
little,
American Girl doll store.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
too old for American Girl dolls.
never
but we
mind.
are gonna
Never
like
mind.
hit up the plaza and like
Yeah.
the Rockettes, like do the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I was joking earlier when we were trying to pick out a hotel, like, why don't we save money so Mama can get herself a brand new purse? You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
And my sister was like, "You gonna hit up the Chanel store on 57th?" And I was like, I got Chanel taste, but like a Coach budget. You know
Got
what I'm
it.
saying? Like a Coach or a Michael Kors budget. Like,
Right. Sure. I
not-
got you. But
And then I said, well, maybe I'll just go to Canal Street, get a little knockoff.
you can always do that.
But then I heard from my
Uh-oh.
sister, she read some horrifying article about how all of the stuff on Canal Street funds terrorism.
What?
So
We're gonna have to
I mean,
get.
to be honest, I probably wasn't gonna buy a knockoff, and like I'm sure Canal Street, there's like many more issues with it besides funding terrorism. But like now that I know we're funding terrorism, I'm like, well, shit, I'm not trying to get like a free or like cheapo,
Yeah.
like
Especially
Hermes or
in the
something.
case that it funds terrorism.
yeah.
Yeah. Let it be clear. I am
I'm anti-funding
Terrorism.
terrorism.
also anti-funding terrorism.
I'm also anti-terrorism, but I'm like
Okay.
anti-funding it. You know?
Got it. Yeah. Cut off their supply. If Circling Conspiracies is listening, I'm gonna have to get him on this case. Connect the
Yeah.
dots for us.
Someone tell us.
Give us a diagram. That being said, I'm happy you're my co-host now.
Yeah.
Welcome.
That whole roundabout thing. But if you also want to buy me a co-host like gift, like a bag or something, I'm down.
Got
for
it.
that too.
What's I know YSL, hot in the streets as far as bags go. Yves Saint Laurent,
Mm-hmm.
Coach. I don't know the rankings. I don't know the
Coach is,
tiers.
Like, not as nice as like
Louboutin.
those are more shoes.
Okay.
Like,
Red bottoms, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay.
Like a Chanel is like a classic. Like, Celine bags are nice.
Dion.
No. What if Celine Dion just had like a handbag line?
Literally what I thought. Like she had her own bag line.
No, Celine is a brand.
Got it. She
You know who
could.
does have their own handbag line?
Who?
Who did?
Uh,
Monica Lewinsky did.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Good for her.
Well,
I
Will and I are
support
currently
girl
watching
bosses and
Impeachment,
capitalism.
An American Crime Story.
Yeah, because of the things that happened
Right.
or didn't allegedly happen.
Right. But it's like a dramatization of what happened.
Yeah.
And you're probably too young. And so is Randy.
Yeah.
Adam definitely wasn't even alive when it happened.
Nope.
He's not even here.
Nope.
But like, I was almost too young. I just remembered like the names of the players in it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I knew who Monica Lewinsky was and who like Linda Tripp and like Ken Starr and all those people were.
Hillary.
But didn't really like understand what was going on.
Yeah.
And it's like wild to look back on it now.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's before I could register like world events. The first one I clearly remember was
9/11.
Well, 9/11 I was like well aware. But the changing of the decades, or excuse me, the millennium
Uh-huh.
was the first like, oh, this is a big deal outside of my classroom. Being like, oh, it's 2000s coming
Yeah.
and Y2K and shit
Remember
like
when
that.
people were like flipping out about the
See,
clocks?
I don't because I was 4 or 5. Yeah, I was 5. So I don't remember like the conspiracy theories around it. I don't remember. I just remember being it like seeing it everywhere. 2000, like change of the millennium type of thing.
Yeah. But it really like wasn't. It was like we changed the millennium like in 2001.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you don't.
I see that there's a whole base 10, base 12 thing we can get into as far as counting goes if you want to. I'll go down that road. Base 8, people are saying is the best counting system. I don't know if I agree with that.
Wow.
What was the first? So that was kind of your first like world event that you could remember. 9/11 is definitely on my list, but like 2000, the 2000 Olympics in Australia. I remember watching a bunch of that.
Was 2000 Australia or Athens?
Athens was 2004.
Oh, you're right. Okay, actually, one of my first world events that I remember
Okay.
was the 1994 Winter Olympics. So I was 5.
Ooh.
And it
Is
was
that-
the Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Harding debacle.
Is that in Lilyhammer?
I don't know where it was.
Fuck.
I think 98 was Japan.
98 was Nagano. 96 was Atlanta. 94, I want to say Lillehammer, Norway.
That's possible. All
Okay.
I remember is like I was young enough. All I wanted to do was like watch ice skating, figure skating. And I remember the like drama that was happening between Tanya Harding and
Yeah.
Nancy Kerrigan. That was like probably one of like the first memories I have of like, you know, not my own family.
Yeah. That's tight. That good 30 for 30 on that whole thing.
I mean, obviously then like 2 years later it was like Dream Team in Atlanta.
Yeah, the 92, 96 basketball teams were pretty solid.
Yeah.
Pretty solid.
I'm talking about the gymnastics Dream Team.
Got it.
talking
That's very
Dominic Mucciano, Dominic Dawes, Carrie Strug.
that was very mansplaining of me to assume when you said dream team that you meant the basketball team, and I apologize.
That's okay. Wasn't the Dream Team basketball team 92?
Yes, that's
Okay.
why I was
You
like,
were
wait
like,
a second.
sure. 96. Randy's like, I have no idea. Oh no, Randy, you're old enough.
Randy's older than me.
I always forget. I'm thinking of Adam right now because every time we're here and Adam's in the chair, I like just make fun of like the fact that he was born in 2001.
Right. Like doesn't know Sugar Ray.
Or he was born in 2000.
Ridiculous. Yeah, 2000.
Adam's
There's a funny
child.
TikTok going around that's like, you were born in 2000 and it just like stops. And? You said and after 2000?
Yeah.
Kids these days, man. You want to do some questions, Sal?
Yeah. Yeah, we can.
Hey, guys. Well, isn't it the magic bullet himself? That's me. I just turned 26 and have been working at my first full-time job for about a month now, along with moving into my first apartment by myself. I feel like I'm a little behind the curve as far as life stage. And as such, I don't feel as old or mature as I feel I should. When did you start to feel like a whole-ass adult? Was there any one event or achievement that made you feel more mature and put together? The quarter life scaries are beginning to set in for sure, and a little direction would really help a brother out. Peace. When did you feel like a whole ass adult, Sally? Or do you? Are you still a kid at heart? Like, when did you first live by yourself?
When I went to grad school. I literally have never.
Okay.
I lived with a roommate all through my 20s. How old was I when I went to grad school? That was 2017.
So you're like, you've
I
never,
was 28.
okay. You've never lived alone?
I didn't live alone until, I went to grad school.
No shit.
I would almost call it living alone though, because like when my living situation before, I was living with one other girl and like neither of us were ever there.
Gotcha. Okay.
It just didn't make sense for me to live alone, like financially. And
Yeah.
also it was the kind of situation where like, here's what I was going to say. My answer of like, I never really felt like an adult until I was doing stuff on the weekends that wasn't just like going out and partying.
Got it.
Like my mid to late 20s were very much me living in a suitcase.
Oh, interesting.
Part of that is just because I was a nurse. So
Mhm.
I had a really weird schedule. I would work like 3 on, and then, all of my free weekends, I would be going to somebody's wedding or going on a bachelorette party or going on a girls' trip. So literally, I just remember being like, probably 25 or 26 and being like, I haven't unpacked this. Like, I'm just like skimming shit out of the top of the suitcase, putting new shit in.
Yeah.
And then I would come home and like leave the suitcase on my
Totally.
floor
Yep. Totally packed.
till I had to like do it again.
No shit.
And part of that was just the circumstances, like what was going on in my life.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I really felt like an adult until even when I met Will, until like I probably went to grad school and I was like, okay, like I'm living alone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like staying in on weekends. I'm like walking my dog in the morning. That I don't know how to like explain. I don't think that there's certain tasks that you do to like make you feel like an adult.
Yeah. I can think of there's like specific moments where I think living alone is a big one.
Living
Like,
alone's a big one.
if you can financially support yourself and like et cetera, right? That living alone is a big like, oh shit, I'm an adult moment, and you're
Mhm.
responsible for cleaning and cooking and all of that goes into it and decorating. A couple of like the funnier ones are like when you go shopping for patio furniture on a Saturday. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, you're old. When your couch no longer touches the wall and you have a floating couch, which is obviously different depending on how your apartment is set up. But like, I remember being like, oh, I can't wait to have a floating couch.
Mhm.
That means you're old.
Yeah.
When you get excited about staying in and like a documentary's on, you're old. But like, old is wrong, right? You're an adult. You have an adult taste.
Yeah.
That's different than wanting to hammer Coors Lights for 4 days straight.
Yeah. To me, it wasn't really an age. It was just like a moment in time. I kind of agree about the like when I stopped, and part of it was circumstance. I went to grad school. I like didn't have time to be traveling all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing was like I would just be like, oh, I have a free weekend where I'm not traveling or have plans to day drink or whatever, and I'm literally gonna go like to a Lowe's
Mm-hmm.
to like buy a plant.
Yeah, that's the stuff right there. You
Um,
walk in, you're just like, oh yeah.
but at the same time, on the flip side, when I was pregnant, I remember being like really freaked out that I was just gonna like lose the ability to like leave on a whim and
Mhm.
be able to like travel when I wanted and go out without having a babysitter
Sure.
and do whatever. And then I like said something like that to Will, and Will was like, "We don't do that now." Like, what are you talking about? Like, how is that going to
Yeah.
change anything? And I mean, it has changed a little bit. I do think, I think everyone has like some sort of quarter life crisis in their mid-20s.
Mm-hmm.
And all of it is just because you're comparing yourself to what other people's situations are.
100%.
And for me, I was the single friend, like up until I met Will. And like I said, I was not settled. Like I was living in Houston, but I was any of my weekends that I wasn't working, and I worked like at least 1.5 weekends out of the month.
Yeah.
Any of those weekends that I wasn't working, I was gone. Like, and I wasn't in Houston. So I never felt settled. I never felt like I have a home base or I'm, really like every apartment or house that I lived in until I went to grad school, I would like move my shit in, but like I never hung up pictures. They would just like sit on the walls or sit like propped up against the wall on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was thinking about that today. Like the last townhouse that I lived in before, or the townhouse that I lived in when I met Will, I was like living in the master suite. It was massive. And
Okay.
I straight up didn't even have sheets on my bed half the time.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
That was one of my friends would be like, "You're a freak. Why are you just sleeping on your bare mattress
Ugh.
with your comforter?" And like,
Sally.
I know.
That's shocking to me.
And I was just because I was the nurse, and I would go to work for 12 hours a day, come home, pass out, get up, do it again, and then
Yeah.
I would leave. And like, so I would like wash my sheets and then just like not make my bed for days on end.
Yeah.
That is the mark of a person who does not have their shit together. Okay. So that when I started thinking like, yeah, I'm going to make my fucking bed was probably when I was like, I'm an adult now.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like, that's a perfect example of something little that, a lot of little adult things kind of start happening in your life where you want this or you do that, or you start waking up at 7 instead of like 8:30. And all of a sudden you sort of look around you, and this is sort of what spurs on that quarter life crisis. You're like, oh shit, I am an adult. And you look around and you're like, that's a charcuterie board I bought. That's a TV that I mounted myself. That's a, those are throw pillows that I spent all day looking. I'm like, yep, that you kind of just, all of a sudden it hits you. So I don't know. I kind of a little self-reflective there, but
Yeah,
everybody
there's-
kind of goes at their own pace, and it's enlightening and freeing to feel yourself becoming an adult, I'd say.
I feel like I never feel as old or mature as I should. Like this guy's saying he doesn't feel as old or mature as he should be.
Yeah.
There are like parts of my life where I'm like, wow, I'm mature now. Like
Yeah.
having a kid.
Yeah,
did that
that's
to
a
me.
pretty big step.
But then at the same time, I'm like, my parents did that when my mom was like 22.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 32.
Yeah.
So it's like everyone's benchmark is different.
Sure is. Sure is. You know where my benchmark is for this weekend?
What?
Like $1 million on DraftKings.
Oh, wow.
Because if I don't get there, I'm going to be mad at myself because week 3 of football is in the books.
$1 million.
And now it's time to review the tape and get ready for week 4 with DraftKings Sportsbook, Sally, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. To kick off another action-packed week, DraftKings is giving new customers $150 instantly when they bet on $1 on any football game. Listen up. You don't want to miss this. Sally and Randy. Head to the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and bet $1 on any Week 4 game to receive $150 in free bets instantly. Now, if the Sportsbook is not yet available in your state, Randy, Indiana shouts, is it? It is. DraftKings still has huge cash prizes up for grabs all season long with their daily fantasy contests, of which one of them is $1 million and of which I am entered in. We'll see how this goes. We'll see how it goes.
You.
DraftKings is giving all new customers a free shot at millions of dollars in total prizes with their first deposit. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app now, download it, and use promo code WASHED to receive $150 in free bets when you place a dollar bet on any football game. That's promo code WASHED this week at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Pick up Aaron Rodgers this week. I like his matchup. Picked up Stephon Diggs this week. I like his matchup. Let's give a running back. How about a sleeper? Give me Mark Ingram of the Houston Texans. We'll see what he does this week. Must be 21 or older. New Jersey, Indiana, Pennsylvania. That is, you must be 21 or older. New customers only. Minimum $5 deposit and $1 wager required. One per customer. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Or in Indiana, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT. How about a voicemail, Sal?
Let's do it.
Ooh, the play button would be helpful.
Hey, Brett, and everyone. Got a good one. I just broke up with my girlfriend of about 3 years. We were living together, and just things didn't work out. But it wasn't a bad breakup. It's not like a fuck you, I'm never going to talk to you again. It sounds like we might be able to still be friends in the future. For reference, she's moving back to California, and I live in Seattle, so we're going to have distance between us. But I guess my question is, when is it kind of okay to start talking again as friends, if that's what we both want, and, obviously keep it as friends, but at what point is it, I don't know, safe or appropriate to do so? Thanks, guys. I love calling in, and I love having you guys help.
My man. First off, condolences on this.
Did he call right after the breakup?
It sounds like he was walking
cops
back.
were there, like
Boop, boop. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, yikes. When can you reach back out and give him the old, hey, how are you? Merry Christmas. I've been guilty of that.
Okay, I kind of feel like if you are breaking up with somebody of 3 years, you kind of maintain to like, as long as it's not ending on horribly bad blood, like one of you didn't cheat on the other one or something, it's probably appropriate to like check in a few weeks and just be like, hey, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Doing okay? Obviously, this guy knows the situation best. Like,
Mhm.
If it's really mutual, I think that that's probably fine. If it's not, like if it was not mutual, like she's still in love with you, you broke it off, you need to give that other person space, right? Like you
Yeah.
need to give the person grieving the loss like time to move on, so and not be in their mind of like, oh, one day they'll take me back. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. You
I
can't
think that
leave
that's
if it's a breakup, you can't leave the door open
correct.
to heal in the near term, because long term it fucking beats people up.
Right. Like you don't want to be, even if you say you want to stay friends and you care about that person, if you really care about them, you have to give them space to like move on.
Mhm.
And vice versa. If you're the one being dumped and like you're not over that person, I think probably the best move is to like let it lie and just move on.
Yeah. Ah, man.
But I don't know.
It depends on the degree of closure that was established at the Applebee's that they broke up at.
Yeah. I
Fancy like
no.
breaking up
No. Okay. Please don't
over
break up
egg
the-
rolls.
No. Does Applebee's have egg rolls?
I don't think
think
so.
that's Chili's.
Chili's
Southwestern
does.
egg rolls.
Southwest egg roll.
I don't really have a need to be friends with exes.
Okay.
They're part of your life. You care about them emotionally.
Mhm.
You've been through stuff with them. To be fair, I'm going to just be bluntly honest. I probably don't have anybody in my life that fits that bill.
Of an ex that you're friends with or not friends with?
Both. Like, I don't have any really significant exes.
Oh, okay. I
Will
see.
was
I
like,
see.
probably, it is like my first and like only super
locked it
serious
in.
relationship. Like, everyone else, there's people that I like,
Dance floor makeouts.
no, there's people I had relationships with, but nobody that I'm
Mhm.
like, you were such an impact on my life.
Got it. No, like you spent Christmases and
Correct.
yeah, I got you.
But obviously, that being said, when you're in a relationship like that, where you maybe thought you were going to marry this person, or you've met their family, or you've spent holidays with them, or, you know, you live together is a huge one. You obviously know that person intimately and they were a part of your life. But I'm also like, is it serving you to still be friends with them? Like, what's the point? Like,
Yeah.
you weren't friends with them in the first place. You were their significant other.
Mhm.
So it's not like you're losing. I mean, you are losing like a friend and a confidant and et cetera. But like
Sure.
when you met this person to be in a relationship with them, it's once you cross the line of we're in a relationship and living together, you lost the like.
You lost the friends.
You lost the
You are
friend. So, like,
intimately.
It's not like you're like,
yeah.
oh man, I really miss this friendship. Like you also miss the relationship portion. So I'm like, get friends and
Yeah.
not your significant others.
I hear you. For me, I feel like I would, no matter the breakup, mutual, I wanted it or she wanted it, I would want a degree of follow-up. Like, hey, just hope you're doing well.
I think that's totally fine.
Okay.
I think that like on their birthday, hey, happy birthday.
Happy
Hoping
birthday.
Hoping
Hope
everything's
everything's
going
well.
okay.
Yep.
Like Merry Christmas.
Love
something that-
a good Merry Christmas text to an ex. That was the move.
But I mean, anything that like he has with this girl that like, you know, they bonded over, like maybe he sees on her social media that like she's
With another guy.
no,
Just
but I'm
I'm
saying
kidding,
like
I'm kidding, I'm
her
sorry.
sister's wedding. You're
Yeah.
like, hey, saw this on Instagram. Hope you're doing well.
Mhm.
I think that's
Totally.
totally harmless and fine, as long as it's actually harmless and fine. You're not like
Angling
to,
for
like-
a.
right. You're not trying to dangle something or being possessive or
Mhm.
on the flip side, like, hey, I hope you're fine at your sister's wedding. Like, I miss you. Like, no.
Yeah, don't hit
no,
like that. Tell the
not doing
families
that.
I said hello. It's like,
No.
yeah, duh. No,
No.
they don't need your hello.
No, sir. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
I don't
But-
know.
The time frame, probably a month in my mind.
Yeah.
That's probably a fair like amount of space and time, because time is the only thing that heals any breakup, anything. Time heals literally all. and I'm a very firm believer in that.
Yeah.
But probably a month is a good, hey, just checking in. This doesn't have, don't take this for anything more than a, hey, hope you're doing well type of thing. And I don't know how to follow that up. If they're like, no, I'm not fucking doing well, then
Okay, cool.
Yeah, cool.
Bye.
Cool. See ya.
I don't know. To me, like once I'm done with something, I'm done.
You're done.
It's like,
Yeah.
I learned, unfortunately, from like a very like tumultuous relationship with somebody in college. It's like, why keep
pine?
Going back.
Yeah.
And to me, I'm like, that relationship wasn't serving you anymore. So like, why do you think it's going to continue serving you in a different role?
Mm-hmm.
And I am sure that there are examples of people who are like best friends with their ex.
Sure.
But to me, I'm like, you broke up for a reason.
Mm-hmm. Cut
Let
it like
sleeping dogs fly.
cut it off.
Yeah.
I see.
But on the flip side, and if some big life event happens to them,
Mhm.
like happy or sad, I think
Right.
it's always nice to reach out and just be like, hey,
Yeah.
congratulations, or like, hey, condolences, like, so sorry about your dog,
Mhm.
like, loved him, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a nice, kind thing to do. That's human.
Especially
humanity.
on a good ending, or
Right.
not
Don't
good,
be
not
the
good,
asshole
but
who like cheats on someone and then be
Yeah.
like, hey, saw
your dog
your
died.
sister's like in the hospital with
Oh.
COVID, like no one wants to hear from you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Yikes. I think we covered that.
Okay.
Let's go to the next one, Sally. Hey, Brett and guest. Try to condense this as much as possible, but it's long. Spoiler alert. Didn't condense it. 28, living in Cincinnati, Ohio, and have been with my girlfriend for 2 years, and mostly things are going great. However, we have some disagreements on our future career goals that I'm trying to figure out if we can work through them. For context, I'm an engineer, and I leapt into getting my dream job out of college. Work is enjoyable and mentally stimulating, good coworkers, and I make a good salary. Call it between 75 and 100.
Okay.
Some might call it settling, but I wouldn't mind spending my entire career here, as the opportunities for advancement and the low cost of living in Ohio mean I can have a great life. I came from a relatively lower income family, so I've already come pretty far from where I started, and I'm sometimes not sure I want to risk losing where I've come. My girlfriend, however, grew up in a very motivated, driven family. Both her parents were high up at, let's say, a company that probably makes all your detergent and toothpaste, among other stuff.
Procter and Gamble.
Yeah, Procter and Gamble.
J&J?
Yeah, Universe, or never mind. Procter and Gamble's a good guess.
Johnson Johnson.
Yeah, J&J. There's a U one. I can't fucking think of it. Universe. It's not Universal. Oh my God, Unilever. That's what it is. There we go. Among other stuff. So she's always looking for the next step up. She's getting her PhD in biochemistry. Shouts to STEM here. But after graduation, she wants to move out to the Northeast, preferably New York City, because she says that she always wants us to be pushing and not be average. I agree that it's good to strive for success, but I really enjoy where I am in life, and I don't want to mess things up. Furthermore, there really aren't many jobs in my field where she wants to move, so it would require me to change what I do a lot. I love my girlfriend and really want to spend my life with her. It's just that I don't know where to go.
I'm on the girlfriend side here.
I am too.
Yeah. Here's the deal. If this girl was coming to me and telling me all this, I'd be like, leave his ass. Bye. But I'm not going to say that because he's the one who wrote in with the question.
Yeah. I'm sympathetic to his thing because he's making a great living
right. I
in
get
Cincinnati, but
I get it. He's making a great living at a job he likes, et cetera, et cetera. That's awesome. Proud of him. She seems very driven.
Mm-hmm.
To me, long term, this isn't going to work.
This is a irreconcilable difference.
Mm-hmm.
This is a rift that she will not change. She will not, and even if she stays where she is,
she's gonna want more.
there's always going to be part of her that wants to like dreams about it.
Right.
And that is going to be as detrimental.
Right. Because
in the
then she's gonna
relationship.
resent him.
Correct.
So, to pull back the curtain a little bit, Will and I, not that we were ever in a similar situation, but Will and I are both motivated individuals.
Okay.
In very different ways.
Mm-hmm.
I am more of a see something, want it, set the goal, do it. Whereas Will's more he is more self-motivated and it's stuff that he wants to improve upon on himself versus mine's more material based.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way as you. I have the picture of the house I want to build one day.
Right.
I have a picture of the golf club that I like. There's all that already planned out in my brain.
Right. And so we balance each other out well, I think, in the sense that I set certain benchmarks that I want, that I force him to do, and vice versa. He's a lot more introspective than I am, I think, sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that being said, we push each other, which is important. He tells me all the time, I'm so glad that you pushed me to do this.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, I'm so glad that Will is incredibly driven and hardworking, etc., because it makes me want to do better too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
And even though we're in totally different fields, my job required me going to grad school and getting a doctorate. His job, he's a self-starter, created, is a co-creator of a company, and all of the stuff that he does by himself for Sunday Scaries, all of that, we're different on those ends of the spectrum, but we both have the same goal in mind, which is we're going to make goals, find ways to achieve them.
Yeah.
Not that this guy doesn't have goals, but he's very content where he is. And I don't think he's settling.
He's already done
what he wanted to do.
More than was not expected is the wrong word, but he's already made it.
Right. He's already
which is awesome. That I'm proud of him for doing that. And he's hooked onto a girl that's wants more, right?
Right. So here's my advice to him. I think one, he is gonna if he loves her and wants to be with her and wants to be with her for the rest of his life, he's gonna have to follow her lead.
Yeah.
But he also needs to realize that there is a chance that she's one of those people who's never gonna feel like she's settling, never gonna feel like she's reached right now, Will and I are in a spot where I'm okay, we're very happy with what we're doing and it's working for us right now. That doesn't mean that it's going to be the same thing in 5 years.
Yeah. Content doesn't necessarily mean complacent or.
But we were both on the same team of okay, if you change your mind about what direction you want to go or where you want to live or whatever, the other person's going to be on board. That was part of our, understanding, getting married and yeah.
Yeah.
Is she the type that she's going to move to New York and have this job and be happy? And then there's a chance one day that you're going to want to move somewhere and she's going to follow you, or is it going to always be about her? Number one, you got to ask that, are you in this together, or is it her driving?
And are you okay with that?
Right.
Because if you are, great. If you're not, we got to re-examine things.
But I think there's already a big hurdle to overcome of he needs to decide, am I going to follow her to let her pursue her dream? Or am I going to hold her back and have her resent me?
And probably feel guilt over that too.
Right.
Or maybe this is just isn't the one.
Correct. And that's okay too.
Because there are plenty of girls out there who would love to be in a situation with him that he's in. And very content and very happy.
Thing.
Right. Absolutely. It's just, I think it comes down to communicating with each other on how would it affect you to stay? How would it affect you to move? And how would it affect you to go one-on-one? She moves to New York, you stay there and see what happens. I don't think that's the scenario you go with, but
no.
I think you examine he mentioned he's an engineer, right? He's
I don't know what
got
kind of
some
engineer
chops.
He is that he like can't do engineering.
My guess would it be ag or something of that
Yeah.
nature, right? Agrochemical, oil,
Yeah.
right? Where New York is obviously very financial based.
Mhm.
But that being said, the fact that there's not a lot of jobs in that industry in New York is almost a good thing for him because he stands out. And companies need somebody who knows that part of the country or that field to be in New York and consult with or be a part of, right? That there's an
Right.
opportunity there if you kind of want it to be of value.
Right. I think a lot of this boils down to like, if you really love her, you're gonna do what she wants.
Yeah.
Right. Like,
Yeah.
and not you don't always have to do what she wants.
But this seems like something that it's this or done,
Yeah.
in my opinion,
Agreed.
because it can't stay the same. She will not be happy.
Mm-hmm.
There's always an intrinsic motivator that she's going to feel, and that's
he can't be upset by the fact that like she is happy with him, but not going to be wholly complete with just him.
Absolutely.
And that's okay.
Absolutely.
Not every person should put that much stock in another person.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that as a married woman. Like, I love Will, but there are
Mhm.
other things of my life that I do that fulfill me. And it's not just Will.
Totally. And that's
And she
super
deserves
healthy.
to be in a relationship with someone she loves
Mhm.
and also pursue a career that she wants.
Totally agree. You know what she could do when she moves to New York?
Wow. What?
Get on a ritual with our friends at Ritual.
Wow.
We deserve to know what we're putting in our bodies and why, especially when it comes to something we take every single day. Ritual's clean, vegan-friendly multivitamin is formulated with high-quality nutrients in bioavailable forms that your body can actually use. Here's what you won't find, Sally. Sugars? Nope. GMOs? Nope. Major allergens? Nope. Synthetic fillers? Nope. Artificial colorants? Plus the fresh taste and delayed release capsule design make taking your vitamins easy. I'll speak on that point. The delayed release vitamins go to a part of your stomach that's less sensitive, so you don't feel like you just took vitamins.
That's a huge thing.
Yeah.
I currently take Ritual postnatals, actually. And
Peanuts.
I did not get them. I should have taken the prenatal ones.
Okay.
Because first of all, vitamins in general, and I really didn't start taking vitamins until I got pregnant, like make your hair and skin and nails like amazing.
Biotin. They
Yeah.
make your nails grow like crazy.
But
Which Ritual has, by the way.
yeah, I stupidly went with a different prenatal, and even though my sister used Ritual,
Okay.
and then I switched to Ritual when they became an ad sponsor, and I was like so mad at myself that I didn't do it earlier because I was so sick during pregnancy, and the vitamins make you feel like shit.
Yep.
On top of that, and then when I switched to Ritual, they're like minty, and they didn't like when you take vitamins on an empty stomach and then you like get really nauseated.
Absolutely.
That was happening to me constantly. And that doesn't happen with
Yeah.
these. And I like actually enjoy taking them. I know that sounds psychotic, but I have to take them with some other stuff that I am currently taking postnatally too. And I like literally mix them with other tablets. And I'm like, okay, I'll have the mint taste in my mouth and like mask the taste of other shitty stuff.
Yeah. They're the best. You pop I sometimes just open the box or the can and
Just smell
get a
them.
little sniff before I take it. It's
Yeah.
awesome. I love my Ritual and I legitimately feel better taking them. And their supply chain is traceable. You always know what nutrients you're taking and where they come from. So you can go on and be like, oh, this vitamin B3 is from Norway. Or this turmeric. I don't know if there's turmeric in it. If there's not, Ritual, I'm sorry, but something's in there from Italy. That's tight. I can go see. It's available, like Sally said, for women, men, and teens. Prenatal, postnatal, currently natal. I don't know if that's a thing, but it's for everybody. Sally's
I think they're just like
just laughing at me.
men's and women's.
Your
multivitamins.
multivitamins are delivered to your door every month with free shipping always. You can start, snooze, or cancel your subscription anytime. And if you don't love Ritual within your first month, they will refund your order. Here's what you got to do. Get key nutrients without the BS. Ritual is offering listeners of the Mail In Podcast 10% off during your first 3 months. Visit ritual.com/Randy to start your ritual today. Let's do the next one, Sally. Brett and guest. I am a 21-year-old college senior who recently went on a coffee date with a new girl that lasted 6 hours on a Sunday. Safe to say, things went very well. We plan to see each other again soon. While this is great and definitely something I think I want, I can't shake the feeling that anything this becomes will have a built-in half-life with my graduation coming up. FYI, she's 1 year younger and may attend grad school after she finishes undergrad. How do you get around feeling subconsciously pessimistic about relationships and focus on living in the moment?
Ooh.
Oh boy.
Okay, I kind of changed my mind about this, actually.
Oh, okay.
So pre-podcast, we were talking about this question.
Yeah. This is not from Adam, by the way.
And I said, it doesn't matter. You're too young. You're not going to end up with her. That's what I said.
Damn.
Right?
Okay. Breaking hearts.
I was like, he's 21. He's about to graduate college.
Okay.
Statistically speaking, the person that you meet in college is not the person that you're going to end up with.
Statistically speaking.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, I wish I actually knew what the statistics were, but like, think about how much you change from 21-year-old, you know.
Spoiler alert, a lot.
To 30-year-olds.
Yeah.
That's an insane amount. Arguably, like, some of the most growing up you do ever.
Yeah.
But that being said, I as you're reading it, I'm like remembering that Will and I's like first ever FaceTime was like, no joke, 5.5 hours.
No
we
shit.
Didn't know each other. I mean, we'd like texted a little bit.
Yeah.
And it did not make sense. He lived in Michigan and I lived in Houston. And
But he was moving here, right?
at the time, no.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And I didn't like, I was like, I'm never going to meet him.
Wow.
Like, this is random, whatever. Honestly, there like how do you get around feeling subconsciously pessimistic about relationships and focus on living in the moment? You get over it when it's the right person. And I know
like
that's
that.
like a shitty way to explain something because like, how do you know?
Yeah. You
Like,
just know.
You just know.
Yeah.
And like, again, horrible advice. Like, why am I saying that? But like, I think when the time comes, it's like the shitty advice people always give, like it'll happen when you least expect it, which like honestly used to piss me off so much because I was like the single friend. All my friends were like settled and like had, you know, fiancés and shit like that. And
You're at El
getting pissed.
Tiempo and you're like, for your friends are like, don't worry, Sal, you'll meet somebody.
And then I like met this dude on the internet.
Yeah.
And I was like, for some reason, really into it, like really open to it, even though like it didn't serve me or like make sense or anything like that.
Sure.
And then I just like let it happen. I think if it's important enough to you, if you felt a connection with somebody, you just let shit happen. And in the same sense of like every other relationship advice we're giving this podcast about like people living with their girlfriends or people trying to move or deciding what to do with their lives, etc. Like when it's the right person, you just make that shit work because you care about them and you want it to work.
100%.
So if this girl's the right girl for you at 21 years old, she probably isn't, but she might be.
Statistics say.
Then you just make it work. I mean, people do long distance. It sucks, but I mean, you're in a long distance relationship right now. I was in a long distance relationship for 3 years.
Yeah.
Was it 3 years?
Damn.
Yeah,
To
like
borrow,
longer than 3 years. Yeah, 3 years at least. I mean, you just make shit work.
Yeah.
When it has to. And obviously there are like, you know, the first guy who broke up with his girlfriend, she's like moving. Like, I don't know if that's why they broke up, but like there are times when like you make shit work until it doesn't work anymore.
And that happens.
And that happens too.
And that's fine. That's
But
life.
I think you just have to realize like it's not about the mindset of like living in the moment. It's like deciding if you want something or not. You know, like if you want to date her, then date her.
and don't worry about this ticking clock.
Right.
It's the worst
And
way
don't
to
worry
look
about
at
the
anything.
logistics. Like if you want to spend your life being like, okay, I'm graduating, I'm moving across the country, then focus on that.
Life is too short to put alarms on anything. I've
Yeah.
learned that this year pretty candidly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't want to be looking at a date on a calendar, living your life with that date in mind.
And that's hard for some people.
It's
really
hard for me because
Yeah.
that's what I did.
Right.
And now I am very focused on day by day living today because I don't know if you get tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I learned that the hard way,
Right.
unfortunately. But to quote my friend Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park,
Yeah.
life finds a way.
Right. And I know that that's like not helpful or analytical or like is really cheesy.
Mm.
Like a live, laugh, love sign above your fucking door. But like,
Judy.
honestly, when you want it to happen, you make it fucking happen.
Absolutely.
Whether it's a girl, whether it's a job, whether it's, I don't know.
Anything. You want it to happen,
Beer on a
you make it
podcast,
fucking happen.
You fucking make it happen.
You fucking
Cheers.
make it happen. Yeah. And I have stories of that.
But also
In
you're a
both
child, so like most likely you're gonna break up.
Statistically
Like you're
speaking.
never gonna start a relationship with her, and like likely you won't like look back on it and regret
This
it.
reminds me of like high school, like summer flings,
Yeah.
where you'd be like, oh, but she's going to Harvard in the fall, and I'm going to Michigan.
Are you like literally talking about like Summer Catch with like Jessica Biel and Freddie Prinze Jr.?
It's great. It's a great movie.
But you know what? It's funny. You look back on stuff when you're older, and maybe you did end up with your high school sweetheart. But it's so funny when you're that young and you're like, we're gonna make it through all of this, and then you realize like people change drastically.
Absolutely. And some people do make it, and some people don't. And there's a lot of growing.
But that's okay.
involved
If
in
he
all
wants to make it work
cases.
with this girl, and then in 3 years' time they're just not the same people that they were at the coffee shop, then that's fine too. You just
6 hours on a Sunday.
yeah.
They could be. I don't know. My direct advice for this question is build it, do it, and don't worry about this random date in your head where you know you're graduating and she's whatever. Don't worry
But
about
also
it.
if it stops serving you, this is my other point. Like if you're graduating and you want to focus on like hanging out with your friends and like living your life and like getting ready for the next step. And like, I feel like my senior year of college, especially my last semester, was very much focused on like, I made the friends that I have. We're going to spend every moment together, whatever. And that can be hard too. Like if you're starting a new relationship with somebody, do you really want to spend the next 6 months of your life starting a new relationship with somebody that you are going to miss out on all these times with your friends? Like,
Yeah, it's true.
and if she's worth it, again, you'll do it. But like, I don't know. You have to decide what's important to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I feel like all that was like really ambiguous, but
Yeah, we went around on that one.
I don't know how to like
Yeah,
give this guy a definite answer.
because you don't want to get his hopes up by saying, "Don't worry, it'll work out," but
Right.
you also don't want to crush him by being like, "Stop it, don't do that."
You're an idiot.
Right. The answer's in the middle, and it's you went on one date, go on 3 more dates,
And
see what
decide
you
if you
think,
like her enough to
and
keep
live.
it going.
He says, "How do I live in the moment?" You just have to.
Yeah.
At some point, like you just have to look forward to what's next in your day versus looking forward to the end of the week or being scared of the end of the week. Like you have to do it. There's no way. There's no like magic formula for living in the moment.
Do it like Nike says.
Yeah, like Nike says. Speaking of funding terrorism, just kidding, Nike.
Oh, whoa. Shots
You know who would never do that?
fired. Who?
Our friends at Movement. In a tiny apartment in Southern California, 2 college dropouts. Can the dog stop barking? Can we get the dog next door to stop barking? Please. Thank you.
Who brought their dog to work? Do we need to cut this out of the
No,
podcast?
we're leaving this because Movement's getting their money's worth. In a tiny apartment in Southern California, 2 college dropouts teamed up to create a watch company that broke all of the rules with fair prices, unexpected colors, and clean original designs Movement grew into one of the fastest growing watch brands, shipping to over 160 countries across the globe.
The dog is barking because he's pumped about this ad read.
Does Movement make watches for dogs?
No.
They're about to. Now Movement has expanded into blue light glasses that protect your eyes from your screens, minimalist jewelry, and more essentials that don't break the bank, all designed out of their California headquarters. My favorite style, Sally, that I've worn forever is the rose gold, white setting, and brown leather strap. It has been with me through thick and thin. It's done weddings. It's done this. It's done that. And it's been with me since I probably was 23, 24.
Your girl's big into the blue light blockers.
Let's go.
Got some clear frames.
Let's go.
Here's the thing. I don't need glasses, but I wanted to be a glasses person.
Sure.
Okay. Because I think I look dope in glasses.
Okay.
And I was like, here's the deal. I don't need a prescription, but the blue light blocking would be a plus.
Yeah.
I spend a lot of time like looking at screens and I can't sleep at night because of all the blue light.
There you go.
So now, bonus, get to wear the glasses and
Look dope.
Yeah.
Get your blue light blocked. And
actually I wear them at work because I need eye protection.
ooh, from like stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I wanted like cute glasses. I didn't want to wear like the plastic ones.
The science fair goggles.
Yeah.
So you
I don't technically need goggles. I just need something that like has a barrier in front of my eyes.
got it. Okay.
So now I look smart. I look good. And
They're like trend. You can wear them to like a bar now.
yes.
They're getting like trendy, aren't they?
Yeah, but you can't tell that they're blue light blocking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
They just
Okay.
look like glasses.
Got it. Okay.
I love them.
I love them
Clear
too.
frames.
If you want to elevate your look like Sally did, or mine, watch-wise, with style that doesn't break the bank, then join the movement and get 15% off today with free shipping and free returns by going to movement.com/mailin. Again, that's movement.com/mailin. Sally, we've only done 4 questions today, but we are running at time. So, do you want to do shower thoughts or one more question?
I think we do this last question because I prepared for
Number
it.
6.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, gang. That's
Yeah.
the one. All right, let's do it. Last question. Hey, gang. This question is partly specific to Sally. Probably why she prepared for it.
Yeah, doy.
My girlfriend is looking into doing travel nursing and is very interested in Austin. Do you have any recommendations as far as which hospitals to look into or to avoid? Also, which neighborhoods would you recommend for a couple in their mid to late 20s who like quiet but don't want to be far from nightlife?
Okay.
Sally
I'm
has
not going to lie to you. This is not the question I prepared for.
Damn.
But I can speak on this super easily.
Okay. We can do this one quick and go to that one. Let's do it. What do you got?
Okay. There's 2 hospital systems
'Kay.
in Austin. There's
St. David's?
Seton and St. David's. I work at the St. David's hospitals. They're both fine. Honestly, I'm going to tell this girl, DM me because I'll help you out.
Oh, tight.
But
Okay.
I love our hospital. You should work there. Neighborhoods in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
We lived off South Lamar, which I loved.
Yep.
Where we are now in Terrytown is more of like families.
Okay.
But I think like honestly, if I could do it again and I was younger and single and or like didn't have a child, I would probably do East Austin.
East Austin is hot in the streets.
I just feel like
right
whenever
now.
we're down there, Will and I always are like, East Austin's more like the Brooklyn.
100%.
Like there's so much going on. I feel like it's a little more eclectic. It's very young. It's like
Very, very like 25, 24.
Yeah.
Even more than like 28, 29.
yeah. And so I think East Austin, Cherrywood's really cute.
Okay.
Obviously like South Congress, South Lamar, South First. All
Yeah,
of that
you can't
whole
go wrong with the three prongs down south. South Congress, South First, South Lamar.
Mm-hmm.
All really good, all young. The only thing you kind of run into down there is like pricey,
Yeah.
and it's going up like by the day.
Yeah.
East Austin is still not manageable. Austin real estate is all through the roof, but East Austin is really cool for a really good price. Or you come out with me and Randy, Southwest, kick it with us.
I
Which is-
forgot. Did you move?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I
I
forgot.
moved Southwest Parkway by Carve.
Oh, is that why you're always at Carve?
That's why, yeah, I can walk there, honestly.
Okay.
Um,
Honestly, Austin's expanding so much, so you're like not going to be in an area unless you're like very, very in a suburb that it doesn't have something going on.
correct. Austin, and it's like my buddy moved from New York,
Mm-hmm.
had lived in Philly and lived in New York. And he was like, I was looking at Austin on a map and I thought it was so much bigger than it is. But when we got here and we're driving around, it's like, oh, you can just get places.
Yeah.
Like 290 to downtown to the bridge, for example.
Yeah.
In a major city, when you see that loop on a map, it's like a 20-minute drive. In Austin, it's 6.
Yeah. That's
So it's a smaller city than you realize. So you really can't go wrong on where you're at.
right.
But East Austin would be my probably 1A vote, and I liked the South First, South Congress
Yeah.
area too. But it's to each their own. You're really never far away from anything cool.
If you want a nursing job, hit me up in the DMs.
Let's go to that last question that Sally prepared for. Brett, my girlfriend of over a year and a half and I do not live together, but spend literally every night together.
Sweet.
I don't think that's super normal.
It is.
But I love her very much, and we will live together at some point in the relatively near future. This leads me to my question, though. How do you tell your sigga that you need alone time? Tonight, all I wanted to have was 2 beers, play Age of Empires, aka the greatest video game of all time. Randy enjoyed that one. I don't know much about Age of Empires. And go to bed. She was not thrilled, Sally. How do you do this with your sigga that you live with? I love her to death, but also value / oftentimes need alone time and space from everyone, not just her. Thanks for your help and your advice.
Okay. The reason I prepared for this one is because this was me and Will. Will just wanted to be alone, have a beer, play FIFA, not have me breathing down his neck, and just like it used to hurt my feelings so much because I honestly was like, we spent like every waking when we were long distance, like when I was here, we would obviously spend every waking moment together. Then like there was like a 6-month period right before grad school that we basically lived together.
Yep.
Well, not really. I lived with my sister and he lived at his house, but we spent every night together. And he was like, I have to have time by myself. And I was like, what the hell? That's so rude. Like I was just very confused.
Yeah.
And now, like having lived by myself without him, and especially now that we have a child, I'm like, people need time to decompress and be by themselves.
100%.
Even if it's just like scrolling your phone.
Yeah. Like give me 30 minutes to look at Twitter and nothing else.
And sometimes it takes a lot longer for the other person to realize that. And there's nothing wrong with you needing space. Even if you love that person to death, you just need time to like be with your own thoughts. And I was not like that until recently. And it took Will being like sitting me down and be like, I need time alone.
Yeah.
It's important to my mental health. I'm going to do this. We're going to spend time apart. And I'm not going to see you today or tonight. And that was like hurtful to me. But then what he did that was very helpful that I think would help this guy out would be like, okay, tonight I'm going to be it by myself. I'm going to play FIFA. I'm going to drink. We're not going to see each other. You're not spending the night. But tomorrow, do you want to go on a date?
We're doubling down. Yeah.
Or like, we're going to do what you want to do.
Yeah.
And I'm going to spend a ton of time with you. So I think, one, you have to explain to her, like you have to just sit her down and be blunt with her. Like, I need alone time from everyone. I just need time by myself. Why don't you go out with a friend? Like, first of all, suggest something for her to do.
Gotcha.
If
be
she's
careful
one of those
with
people
that,
who doesn't want to be alone like I was, like, then suggest like she go with a friend to get a drink or something like that. But then also follow it up with like, hey, I'm going to spend tonight by myself. Tomorrow we're going to do this or this or this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like give her an option for like a date or like, cooking dinner together or whatever. Follow it up with like, we're going to have quality time tomorrow.
Yeah. 100%.
That's how you fix that.
I got you. I'm Will. I need like my alone time. to do, whether it's like just zoning in on my TV or like 30 minutes of Instagram or 30 minutes. Like I just need, that's my decompress. It's like my mental just safe space. Or like golf, for example.
Yeah.
I
think
run
that's
into
just
trouble
harder
with golf.
for girls to understand. I really do. And like, I think it's probably personality wise, but like for me, it was like, I want to be talking to somebody. I'm the person, I'm exactly like my mother. When I'm driving, I use that time to call people because I'm like, I want to talk to somebody right now.
Interesting. Okay.
And so when I call Will, he's like, we have to get off the phone. Like, I need to do stuff. And I'm like, just talk to me.
Just say whatever.
So then I'll like call my mom.
Yeah.
And then that actually works out great because she's the exact same way. She just wants to talk to somebody too. So we just chat each other up. That's my personality. And it sounds like this could be this girl's personality too.
It sounds similar.
Yeah. So encourage her to do something with her friends. Follow it up with some quality time.
Yeah. I will shout out to Caroline. She's awesome in that regard, where she's like, "Yep, I know you need time, but then like you better get back on your horse and spend time." So I think we have, knock on wood, she's gonna hear this and be like, "Oh, actually."
But on the flip side, also, learning to value your partner's alone time. So like, hopefully
it's gonna make
understands.
them happier and a better person,
Right.
and like then they'll be more inclined to not resent you.
One thing that Will and I have been really good about, especially having a kid, because when one of us goes out with the other one, the other person's taking care of Fritz.
Yeah.
Is like not bothering the person. So when they're getting their alone time, let them actually have the alone time and not like texting and being like, "Hey, what are you doing?
What's up?"
And that's harder for me than it is for Will. Like I'll go out and Will will like straight up not talk to me. Like he's like, you need the time to be with your friends and to decompress and to like be alone.
Yeah.
When Will's gone, I have to like fully make the effort to be like when he was on Micah's bachelor party, I was like, I just want to text like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Just like, not because I'm concerned, but I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" Like,
what's going on?
And I had to like,
what Micah order?
Hold myself back and be like, you don't need to talk to him.
Yeah.
Let him have his time. Everything's fine. Like, or even when he's like gone all day and I'm at work, like when he went golfing with y'all, or I think when y'all went to Soho House to the pool.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. Like, I want to be like, oh my God, how's the pool? Like, is it fun? Like, there's no reason why I need to check in on him. I just wanted to be like, "Hey, I'm really bored. Will you talk to me?" And he's like, "Give me space."
Yeah.
It's important.
It is important. So what do I recommend to this guy is what Sally said. Turn it into a mutually beneficial situation. Take your alone time, sit her down, but tomorrow make an effort to double down on that missed time.
Yeah.
Simple, easy. I think that's pretty solid.
Effective.
Speaking of alone time, I'll go real quick. I had a shower thought.
Okay.
We can kind of quickly go through this. Spawned from a tweet that I saw today.
Okay.
That was basically, let me give you the exact tweet. Is it acceptable to work in a bar the way one would work in a coffee shop? Like, could I just bring my laptop to the bar, get a pint, and write a thesis proposal draft? To which I quote tweeted, "If this is wrong, I don't want to be right." Because Sally, my favorite thing to do, probably my favorite alone time, honestly, is sitting in a bar with my laptop, which I'm about to do in 20 minutes.
At Fix?
At Fix, because their happy hour is phenomenal. $7.
We know why you're trying to get out of here. You want to hit up the happy hour. We get it.
I'm starving. I'm so hungry. And they do like $8 bar happy hour bites.
Okay.
And I have to pee. That's aside from the hungry stuff. But this is literally where I think most comfortable, is at a bar with a little bit of din of ambience. Ambience and ambience was a little conflation there. And a bartender who you're friends with, shooting the shit. How's everything? Knowing what drink you want, doing an hour and a half of work, and then wrapping up and going home.
I think this is totally acceptable.
Love that.
In the right places.
You cannot be doing this at Little Woodrow's at 9:00 on a Saturday.
Right.
And Thursday at 4 to 5?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think you know what the vibe is. Like, as long as you're not pissing off the staff,
Yeah.
then that's fine.
Here's one thing you can't. Don't take a call at the bar. A work
No,
call,
yeah.
especially. Like
No.
if you're doing that kind of work where sales or recruiting or whatever, and you're like calls all day, you can't do that at the bar.
You
with a
really
laptop.
shouldn't even be doing that at a coffee shop either.
No. Oh God, people do it. People do it with their AirPods.
Yeah.
So they're just walking around with like their phone on their hip, and they're looking like you don't know they're talking to somebody. They just look so dumb talking
Right.
to themselves. Ugh.
I actually really like this move, but I agree. It has to be in an environment that's like you're not gonna be in anybody's way, like sitting at the bar with the laptop open and people are like trying to like actually party.
Correct. Yeah. Know your space. Like codependent has no laptops after 6.
Yeah,
That's the
I
rule.
like that rule.
I do too. I love that rule.
You're just
If
like
you're on a laptop after 6, and then it's not an airport bar, a hotel bar, like
that's a great rule.
Get off your laptop and go enjoy something else.
Right.
Yeah. Well, which if you're at home, I'm guilty of being on my laptop at midnight. Like, but at a bar, don't do it after 6.
I haven't opened my laptop in like 2 weeks
How?
because I don't need it for work.
That's true. You're hands on.
It's like kind of pointless for me to have a laptop actually. Like I have it because I had it from grad school, but like I don't use it because I have my phone.
I mean that's true. I'm as attached to my laptop as I am my phone at this point.
Right.
I need it. Well, I mean, I guess it's like my job.
Like the only thing I use it for at this point is to like watch movies on planes.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that pathetic?
Yeah. I thought
I mean,
you did.
I
And
don't
then you'll
know
have
if
an
it's
iPad too.
pathetic.
Will loves his iPad.
Will loves the iPad.
He loves it.
Yeah.
He's like it's so versatile.
Well, and he uses the iPad like in a way that it has nothing on it that he can do work from. So it's like if
it's
he's
like a
going
break
to like
machine.
exactly.
Interesting.
Like
Okay.
he like uses it to like he uses like some Illustrator thing to like draw or like watches movies on it or whatever. But like when he brings out on a trip, it's like I'm using this because I'm not going to open my laptop and be like tempted to do work.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Do you have a shower thought, Sal?
I feel like I've had a lot of shower thoughts already,
Okay.
like sprinkled in this whole episode. So
Yeah.
I'm not going to like
Is that your coffee mug too that you brought to the studio?
the ass one.
Yeah.
No, I think that's Dylan's.
Yeah. Somebody sent that to him. Shouts to the listener who sent that in.
No, I actually have this circling back
Bison. Shouts to our friends at Bison.
Bison stainless.
Very
steel cup.
nice stuff. That'll do it then
Yeah.
for the Mail-In podcast. Shouts to our guest turned co-host.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Am I the pink person on the mail-in logo?
that was Kayla. Shouts to Kayla, but we can change that.
Okay.
We don't have to be AIM characters anymore.
I mean, we can be AM characters.
Okay.
I'd prefer my face not be on it.
Okay, deal. Well, you just have to pick your activity other than receiving mail.
I love getting mail.
Done. We look at that.
I'm already
We
in it.
keep it.
That's fine.
That'll do it for us today. Randy, you have a good time over there? Sally, you have a good time?
I had a great time.
Hit us with a subscribe, rate 5 stars, review, tell a friend about the podcast. Hit the hotline number to leave a voicemail, like our down bad friend did. 888-362-MAIL. That's 888-362-6245. Or you can write in at the link in the Twitter bio at Mail-In Podcast. Sally, where can the folks find you, the new co-host, officially?
Sally DeFries
of the Mail-In
on
Podcast.
Instagram and Twitter.
Boom. Easy. Randy, thank you. Sally, thank you. We will see y'all next week.
Bye.
Bye-bye.